You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Josh?
I do.
All right.
All right. Can you state your name and rank and position for the record of the court?
Yeah, I'm Chris Jameson, Colonel of the SAST, San Andreas State Troopers.
All right, Mr. Jameson. You were present at the raid, correct?
Correct. I was in charge of the operation.
All right. What did you see when you were, approaching the Crips headquarters and during the raid? If you could explain to the court.
Yes. On approach, we had our separate Overwatch teams, which included Air One, and in addition to several other SWAT members that were located on several roofs. We had observed several individuals on the rooftops. One of them was the suspect that was found to be carrying that assault shotgun, and they proceeded to engage in a gunfight with officers after we even tried to get them to cooperate, informing them we had a search warrant for the location.
Okay. Did you count how many individuals had the guns drawn in their hands?
Every single member had guns drawn once we encountered them.
Okay. Did any officers get hurt during this raid?
Yes, one officer, Mr. Riley, was injured.
All right. And did any bullets?
Back up. Can we
Okay,
verify
here we
the
go,
exact
officers.
number of suspects?
It
We
was
could go
6
now.
in total.
All right.
Noise, follow me outside.
Yeah,
Alright.
sorry. I just had to do something.
Your Honor,
Is
it's my
there-
understanding that we're doing the defendants one at a time. Is that
Holy
correct?
crap, they're loud.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Did Mr. Dustin Lee himself had a firearm in his hand?
That is correct. We confiscated a weapon off of him as well as the other 5.
All right. That's all the questions I have.
Does the defense have any questions for the witness?
Yes, sir, I do. All right, Corporal, you stated that my client, Mr. Lee, was on scene. Did you ever see him fire his firearm that was drawn?
I personally did not. From my recollection, he was the one that jumped off the roof and proceeded out front, who was eventually, I believe, taken down by my Overwatch Team 1.
All right, so you did not see him shoot his gun.
Negative. I was on the rooftops giving orders to my people.
All right, and were you the one that confiscated the gun from Mr. Lee?
I was not.
All right. So do you have no proof whatsoever that he shot anyone? Or even fired his firearm, for that matter?
The only proof that I have definitively, considering the amount of gunshots that were fired in this situation, is the documentation of all the weapons names and the people who were in possession of them.
All right, and did y'all test Mr. Lee's gun for gun residue?
We did not.
All right, at this time I have no further questions for the witness.
Does the prosecution have any other questions to follow up with?
Delta 1, who was in charge of the Overwatch Team 1?
Overwatch Team 1, that was Mr. Nemestikov, I believe.
So the state would like to call Mr. Nestikov onto the stand.
All right, make it happen.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you, Josh?
I do.
All right, witness has been sworn in.
All right, Mr. Can you state your name, rank, position, and your overall relationship to the PD?
Sergey Nemestikov, Chief of Police, Los Santos Police Department. Is that all? Anything else?
So you were in charge of Team 1, is that correct?
That is correct.
So, as Mr. Warp there stated, Dustin Lee was apprehended by Team 1, is that correct?
We were not involved with any of the apprehension of the subjects, just overwatch of the officers entering the compound.
Okay. Did you see Dustin Lee shoot his firearm at any officers? present at that scene?
Cannot recall, due to the only person that I saw with a firearm out front, which I was able to take out, was running away. I wasn't able to see anyone inside the compound that took immediate shots at officers.
Did you hear any type of automatic shotgun fired at the scene?
I did not see any or hear
Objection,
any.
relevance.
Sustained.
So, did you personally see any type of firearm on Mr. Dustin Lee when he ran away?
To be honest with you, sir, I would have to look back at my own footage. I am unsure of what Mr. Lee is wearing and how I can connect him at this moment.
Okay. The state has no other further questions.
The witness may be seated.
The defense has questions for the witness.
All right, witness, step back up.
Alright, sir, like you said, or like he asked, you did not see Mr. Lee firearm on scene, did you?
Like I said, I was unsure if I even saw Mr. Lee out in the front. He might have been in the compound, but I did not see Mr. Lee, or I can really not identify him properly.
Alright, Mr. Lee, can you stand up and describe what you were wearing that day?
Yes, sir. That day I was wearing white pants with a Scarface t-shirt.
Is there anything that would have been distinct about your uniform to make your clothing to make you stick out?
I had white pants that, sagged, and I had very bright blue shoes, a black and white Scarface t-shirt, and
Thank
a
you.
black mask with blue on it.
Alright, thank you. Is that ringing any bells for you?
A little bit. It kind of rings a little bit of bells.
Alright, so, but you kind of remember who Mr. Lee was. Do you remember seeing him firing a firearm anywhere on scene?
I do not recall him firing a firearm. We did fire at him. He did have a firearm. He came to the front and went back inside the compound. That's where I lost visual of him.
Alright, and so when you had visual, you did not see him shoot, right?
Negative, but he was armed.
Alright, well, he was on his own private property. He's allowed to be armed. Am I mistaken there?
You can make that argument, sir, but I was just protecting the lives of my officers.
Alright, I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
The witness is dismissed. All right, moving on to the next count. Yeah. We have felony possession of a controlled substance. That would be the cocaine entered into evidence.
Your Honor, we did find about, if I'm not let me check my files real quick.
It was 6 grams, wasn't it?
If I'm not mistaken, yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. It is about 6 grams of cocaine on him, sir.
Alright, so we for sure have that bagged and tagged in evidence.
Yes, Your
Vince,
Honor.
anything to say?
Your Honor, give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure something out with my client. We have no objection to that charge. He'd actually like to change his plea on that charge.
Alright, so your defendant wants to enter a guilty plea?
No contest, but yes, sir.
Alright. Alright. Alright, that concludes the charges. If the defendant would rise and step forward to the podium.
Mr. Lee.
My apologies.
Alright, Mr. Lee. On count 1, possession of an illegal NFA Class 3 firearm, I find you guilty. On counts 2 through 5, I found you not guilty. On count 6, possession of cocaine, I find you guilty. I
Your
hereby...
Honor, Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying we'd like to waive the 3-day waiting period and go ahead and hear the results now. Or the sentence now.
No 3-day waiting period in this courtroom anyway. Alright. As a result of these guilty findings, I sentence you to 3 months in prison at the San Andreas Correctional Complex.
Yes, Your Honor.
If one of the officers wants to step forward and take the suspect into custody.
Your Honor, I'd also request that his sentence does not start until after the trial of the rest of these members, seeing as I might need to call him as a witness for one of their...
That's fine, we just need to go ahead and get him
Yes,
detained.
sir. Yes, sir, I understand.
Follow me.
Just sit him back there with the rest of the Crips.
Okay.
Alright, are we ready to proceed with the next defendant?
Yes, sir. But we're requesting that we can do Vara Ruse next because Mr. Ruse has to take a flight.
Ruiz was the next one to be called anyway. Alright, Commonwealth San Andreas versus Vara Ruiz. Or Ruiz, however the hell you want to say it. Alright, starting with count 1 here. We altered that for everybody to be possession of a Class 3 NFA firearm. Commonwealth, the evidence for that would be on the return warrant, wouldn't it?
Come again, Your Honor?
The evidence for possession for Vara here would be on the return warrant, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Alright, let me grab that. Alright, so we've got 1 handgun, 1 assault rifle, and 5 cocaine. 5 grams cocaine.
That's correct, Your Honor. The state would like to also add for the record to the court that I did receive a text from the DA's office that finalized the inventory of the weapons found in the compound and would like to forward over to the court.
You may proceed to pass that to the court and the defense.
That is a complete
Farley,
list
email me,
of
please.
all the
What's your-
contraband that we found
Put a
on
dot
their
beside
compounds,
it,
Your Honor.
They sure know how to party, I'll give them that.
I'd like to just make clear that is all everything that was found at the compound or the house.
Right.
Alright.
This is a pistol, so possession of a Class 3 NFA firearm would not apply here.
That is correct, Your Honor.